on the sign language desk, and Subukile Maposa shall be joining us later on in the bulletin from our Montrose studios. But first, the headlines.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa officially opens the Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council on Archives Conference in Victoria Falls. We'll be bringing you details.
In other news, Zimbabwe sets new tobacco production record. 299 million kilograms go under the hammer.
And we'll also be looking at your business news, where gold coins gain nearly 100% in value since July of 2022. And
in sport, Simba Bora shoot to the top of the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League log after beating Bikita Minerals by 1-0.
Let's start with tonight's top story.
The SADC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, says Africa has a duty to tell its story, recount its history, and preserve its own culture.
Well, the president officially opened the 28th Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council on Archives Conference in Victoria Falls today. Our diplomatic correspondent, Josephine Mugio, was there and she filed this report.
More than 500 delegates drawn from Eastern and Southern African countries are gathered in Victoria Falls for the 28th edition of the Archives Conference. This is a conference that looks into the issue of the importance of archives in a country's history. As President Mnangagwa took to the podium to officially open this conference, he spoke about the need for Africa to be able to tell its story.
The claim that we are truly an independent and sovereign continent, as well as masters of our own destiny, will be truly actualized when we close the information gap within our historiography. Africa has a duty to tell its story, recount our own history, and preserve our own culture. Ourselves, supervised by ourselves, not by others. The narratives peddled from quarters external to the continent must be corrected. While all illegally transferred cultural artifacts must be returned to us, we are its rightful owners. It is pleasing, therefore, that as the continental leadership of Africa, we have the political will to push for the repatriation of our stolen or confiscated cultural artifacts and archives that can never be separated from our identity, our dignity, and our history. This conference must, therefore, heighten our legitimate demand for the Western world to return the artifacts and archives to us, their legitimate and the God-given honors.
In a world that thrives on keeping up with technological trends, President Mnangagwa mentioned the importance of using information technology in archiving the continent's history for the benefit of future generations.
As we embrace new technologies to open up our collections, I challenge you to use this conference to come up with additional innovative strategies to address the digital gap and security issues in a manner that is sustainable and beneficial to the continent. In doing so, be mindful that while technologies such as artificial intelligence offer numerous advantages, there are associated risks around this. This requires a paradigm shift among records practitioners, including updating legislation and policy frameworks in order to safeguard our archives for posterity.
President Mnangagwa commended the Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council on Archives, SABICA, for the efforts it continues to put in place in establishing, maintaining, and strengthening cooperation among archivists.
Since its formation in 1969, It is pleasing that this body has made significant strides in establishing, maintaining, and strengthening cooperation among archivists. The role you all play in promoting the preservation of archival heritage, facilitating the use of archival materials, sponsoring professional training of archivists in the region is extremely commendable. Through your coordinated collection as well as preservation of both oral traditions and history, we are sure that future generations will continue to have factual and accurate archival records for their benefit.
President Mnangagwa said the media and academia must continue interrogating the issue of archives until it is brought to finality. The removal of archives from Africa has created major gaps in the continent's history, hence the combined efforts to address this challenge. The need to work together in collecting Africa's archives was brought under the spotlight during this conference. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Delegates attending the 28th Biennial Conference of the Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council on Archives in Victoria Falls have been rallied to incorporate technology in archival systems to widen reach and accessibility.
From the lessons learned during the COVID-19 pandemic to the growing demand for wider access to information, delegates at the 28th International Biennial Conference of the Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council on Archives, ESABICA in Victoria Falls, underscored the urgent need for digitization of archival systems.
Nowadays, it is quite important that we digitize records for access purposes. If you have digitized, that information is made available online, which means it can be easily accessible. Once you digitize, you are able to preserve for future generations.
A mixed funding model is being recommended, one that combines domestic resource mobilization with external partnerships.
We have managed to reach most of our milestones due to developing the system in a phased approach. We did not take it holistically. That was going to fail.
So government should put in place systems that will help us raise its resources.
Zimbabwe has committed itself to increase the accessibility of archival services through ongoing decentralization efforts.
The government continues to accelerate the decentralization of its services to all parts of the country, including archival services and institutions. We acknowledge the significance of archives in shaping our understanding of the past, informing our present, and inspiring our future.
More than 500 delegates from 16 African countries are attending the 5-day conference meant to chart the future of archival science on the continent. Zimbabwe has already invested over $3 million in its archival digitization efforts, with a fully operational system expected by year-end. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Now, the government is undertaking consultative processes for the formulation of the National Development Strategy 2, which is expected to give further impetus to Zimbabwe's journey towards attaining an upper-middle income society by the year 2030.
The National Development Strategy 1 comes to an end this year, and government has already started processes to formulate the second part of the economic blueprint. Presenting the 10 thematic areas of the second phase of the NDS in Harare this Wednesday, the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, noted how the blueprint will consolidate gains made in NDS 1.
The National Development Strategy 2 will serve as Zimbabwe's second 5-year medium development plan within the Second Republic, by the way, with the main aim being to drive the achievement of Vision 2030. To promote inclusivity and ownership of NDS2 consultations under the leadership of the thematic working groups will be conducted through a wide-reaching participatory approach. This engagement process with the stakeholders has already started. We are here this morning, for example, and will continue until the draft final document has been produced.
Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Dr. Martin Lushwaya, added that NDS2 will establish a clear framework for aligning planning, programming, budgeting and implementation of public investments.
NDS2 will play a crucial role in steering Zimbabwe towards long-term sustainable economic growth. This year's projections of prospects for positive growth, estimates of 6% for our economy during 2025 provide the momentum for the launch of NDS2 as we move towards Vision 2030 to enhance the living standards of our citizenry. Following the development of the national priorities for NDS2 to be implemented over 2026 to 2030, the respective 10 thematic working groups have now been constituted.
The engagement on the formulation of the NDS2 also included players from the private sector, civil society and the academia who uploaded the inclusive development agenda by government.
At the formulation stage, the government, the finance minister has spoken about it so very clearly and vividly that the government is not going on its own, but is pulling everyone concerned, every stakeholder into the board so that as we formulate NDS2, it becomes something that we own together.
We have come here so that we can synthesize all our submissions and inputs to the formulation of the National Development Strategy 2.
Number one, but number two, you can only build it if you put the atmosphere is conducive for everybody to operate. And the competition is regulated properly to make sure that Zimbabweans own the resources and build on the resources.
The National Development Strategy 2, which is expected to be launched by President Emmerson Mnangagwa later this year, will have 10 thematic areas spanning a sustainable macroeconomic growth, agriculture and food security, health, social protection and inclusive access, along with image building, international relations and trade. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe has signed a government project support agreement with Infraco Africa for the development of the 30-megawatt solar project in Vungu, Midlands Province. We get more in the next report.
The signing ceremony, which took place on the sidelines of the ongoing Africa Energy Forum in Cape Town, South Africa, marks a significant step forward for the development of the 30-megawatt Vungu solar project in the Midlands Province. Energy and Power Development Minister Honorable July Moyo, who is leading the Zimbabwean delegation at the forum, highlighted the country's appetite to have more investors in the country's energy sector, including independent power producers.
This because of the shortages, not just in Zimbabwe, shortages of power in the whole of Southern Africa, because of climate change and old equipment, we have had to learn the hard way. And this hard way has meant that even the ordinary people or ordinary households, ordinary artisanal miners have had to invest in solar. But this solar, they over-invest, and now part of our reform is that we can do net metering. And right now from our net metering, we are getting something like 62 megawatts every day.
Infraco Africa was represented at the signing ceremony by its head of business development, Mr. Omar Jabri. Meanwhile, Minister Moyo met his South African counterpart, Honorable Ngosiencho Ramakhoba, this Monday to share notes and explore areas of bilateral cooperation between the two countries. John Nandara, ZBC News.
Now, the Botswana government has made a reciprocal benchmarking visit to the Geopomona Waste Management Company, following a similar visit embarked on by the company to establish collaboration in waste management.
The Botswana government has demonstrated strong commitment to collaborate with the Zimbabwean Waste Management Solutions and a delegation led by that country's Minister of Education, Honorable Justin Hunye, toured the Geopomona Waste Management Company site in Harare this Wednesday amid interest for collaboration in waste management.
I see this as a very, very good project for Botswana, for the region, for the SADC region, in fact for Africa as a whole. Definitely I will be sharing with the different councils, about this. The mayor, the two mayors of the biggest cities in Botswana, Francistown and Gaborone, I will definitely engage them because they are colleagues. We always talk, and in fact, they request them to come and do the benchmarking here.
Botswana ambassador to Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Sarah Molosiwa, mentioned that the visit resonates with President Duma Boko's new thrust for councils to be innovative.
It's an eye-opening for us as a country that our council, our city council in Gaborone and the city council in Francistown, maybe those could be our phase one of developing an initiative like this that is going to generate income, provide jobs also, job opportunities.
Last year, Geopomona Waste Management Company embarked on a benchmarking visit to Gaborone, and this reciprocal visit by the Botswana government presents further opportunities for collaboration.
Our collaboration will continue with the government of Botswana to make sure we are going to manage waste in Botswana. We will continue engaging each other until we finalize our agreements.
A fortnight ago, President Emmerson Mnangagwa commissioned a fleet of refuse collection trucks and related equipment, and the company has already started door-to-door refuse collection, with residents describing the initiative as a new dawn of service delivery in Harare. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has paid condolences to the people of India following the tragic Air India plane crash that claimed at least 270 lives in Ahmedabad last week.
On behalf of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murwira, signed the Book of Condolences at the Indian Embassy in Harare this Wednesday in remembrance of the victims from last week's fatal air crash.
On behalf of His Excellency the President, the people of Zimbabwe, we have been signing this Book of Condolence because us in India are very close, with excellent relations, and we mourn together with the Republic of India on this tragic loss.
India's ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Brahma Kumar, thanked President Emmerson Mnangagwa and the Zimbabwean people for showing solidarity with India during such a difficult period.
These condolence messages from the top offices in the government of Zimbabwe, which came on the very same day from His Excellency President, and today's visit of Honorable Foreign Minister, shows the strong and very deep bonding between our peoples of two countries, our historical relations, which are already very strong, and we are thankful to the government of Zimbabwe for standing with India with all solidarity and with these condolence messages.
The Air India flight, which was bound for London, crashed shortly after taking off. The cause of the crash is not yet known, and officials are still trying to decode the cockpit voice and the slightest information they can get from flight data recorders. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Now 14 First Ladies from Africa and Asia, including Zimbabwe's First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, converged at Hilton Hotel in Dubai for the 7th edition of the MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit, which started today.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is also the country's MEC Foundation More Than a Mother ambassador, has joined other 13 First Ladies from Africa and Asia for the 7th edition of the MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit, currently underway in Dubai. The event was attended by First Ladies from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Gambia, Kenya, Maldives, Senegal, Central African Republic, Angola, Liberia, Ghana, Cabo Verde, Gabon, Mozambique, and Sao Tome and Principe. The First Ladies who attended are also MEC Foundation More Than a Mother ambassadors in their respective countries. During the 7th edition of the conference, the MEC Foundation was also celebrating two significant milestones, which are the 8th anniversary of the MEC Foundation and 13 years of impactful development programs that were started in 2012. At the summit, the engagements addressed various issues, including breaking the stigma surrounding infertility, supporting girls' education, and promoting and strengthening healthcare capacities in fields experiencing skills shortages. The summit, which brings together First Ladies from Africa and Asia, also reviewed the progress of ongoing collaborations with the MEC Foundation since the 11th edition of the MEC Foundation Africa-Asia Luminary held in Tanzania last year. The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, also participated at that event. The First Lady, Dr. Mnangagwa, who emerged as the pillar of inspiration at the summit, was given a platform to be the first speaker, laying a foundation that set the tone for the summit. Dr. Mnangagwa, who has embarked on various life-changing programs in health, education and media in partnership with the MEC Foundation, highlighted significant milestones achieved through collaborative efforts between a philanthropic arm, Angel of Hope Foundation, and MEC Foundation.
It is a pleasure to reconnect with my dear sisters, the First Ladies, as well as MEC Foundation Chairman, Professor Frank Haverkamp, and my dear sister, Senator Dr. Rasha College. My organization, the Angel of Hope Foundation, started working with the MEC Foundation in 2019. Over the last 6 years, we have built a very strong partnership which has helped my country in so many ways. We've achieved collaborations in the areas of health, education, media, and socio-economic. This collaboration has resulted in the empowerment of various experts in the country, including health professionals, students, and media. Doctors have received scholarships for training in critical specialties across a wide range of programs, from medicine, surgery, obstetrics, gynecology, and pediatrics. These critical skills are so important in Zimbabwe as we strive to be an upper middle income country by 2030. Training Zimbabweans means that we will not import people with these critical skills from elsewhere. The doctors being trained will not only serve in the cities, but also in rural areas and those hard-to-reach places so that no one is left behind. My organization, Angel of Hope Foundation, is working closely with the Ministry of Health and Childcare to identify and engage with the beneficiaries of these programs. As we speak, we have opened 2 centers of excellence in fertility in Harare and Bulawayo, our 2 major cities in Zimbabwe.
The First Lady, who is also passionate about the preservation of the country's rich cultural heritage, highlighted some of the initiatives she is spearheading to ensure youths are reconnected to their roots.
We also have a collaboration with the education sector, where girls from underprivileged settings are identified and given scholarships to enable them to get good quality secondary education. The program supports more than 40 girls per year in my country. This will enable them to realize their full potential. It also dovetails into my programs, which I am undertaking in Zimbabwe, which educate girls to shun early marriages, dropping out of school, and unwanted pregnancies. Also to learn how to prepare nutritional traditional dishes and observing our dear cultural norms through a program I initiated called Nanga for girls and Gota for boys. This one, I take the girls separately from boys into a bush area for 7 days, where I train them Ubuntu and all the chores. We are also grateful to several books that have been shared with us. This contributes to instilling positive values in girls and boys. The media also continues to get support through media trainings. We have witnessed in Zimbabwe the depth of media's researched articles on all health and socioeconomic issues. The media ones have motivated them to work hard and equally advanced and also improved themselves. I wish our relationship to remain strong as we continue to save. Let us create lasting impact for future generations.
The CEO of MEC Foundation, Senator Dr. Rasha College, is ecstatic about success stories realized in different countries through partnerships between First Ladies and the MEC Foundation.
We are celebrating now 13 years of success of our development programs. Today we are celebrating the 7th edition of the MAFLI, Merck Foundation African Asian First Ladies Program. But it is also the 13th anniversary of our programs and the development programs, where we achieved more than 2,200 scholarships provided for doctors from across 52 countries in Africa and some in Asia in 44 critical specialties. So, but not only this, but also we are emphasizing on education, girls' education, which is very important, very critical, because educating girls and save them from early child marriage and other practices to continue having their career, future, reach their potential. It's very important for the development, social and economic development for the whole country.
In his keynote address, Professor Dr. Frank Stangenberg Haverkamp, who is the chairman of MEC Foundation Board of Trustees, highlighted the importance of good health in socio-economic development, pledging MEC Foundation's commitment to continue working with the First Ladies in addressing health challenges being faced in their countries.
I believe this gathering is far more than a summit. It is a powerful symbol of what we can accomplish when we unite for a shared vision and a purpose. Our vision at Merck Foundation has always been simple, yet deeply transformative, that everyone should be able to lead a healthy and happy life. This vision has driven our mission to build and advance healthcare capacity, transform patient care landscape, break the stigma of infertility, empower women and support girl education. This has been the basis of every program that had been launched successfully over the past 13 years.
Other First Ladies also spoke on the programs they have implemented in their respective countries. Senator Oluremi Tinubu of Nigeria, who is one of the newest members, commended strides made by the MEC Foundation so far, sharing her achievements of the joint partnership with the MEC Foundation.
This is a highly beneficial program for our country, and I'm committed to expanding it further through my office and the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. By doing so, we will be able to empower more Nigerian doctors, ultimately enhancing public health care and improving the well-being of our people.
From the Asian continent, the First Lady of Maldives, Mrs. Sajida Mohammed, shared the experience, knowledge and success stories of your joint initiatives with the MEC Foundation.
Our collaboration with Merck Foundation has facilitated fertility and embryology training scholarships for our local doctors in the Maldives. These are two critical specialties where we currently face shortage of skills. We are also in discussion to facilitate the enrollment of our doctors in other critical specialties. Our collaboration during the past months have already established a strong partnership, and I'm eager to see through our initiatives under discussion.
Dr. Ana Diaz Lorenzo of Angola and Mrs. Rachel Ruto of Kenya also talked about the initiatives they are embarking on in their countries in partnership with the MEC Foundation.
There is a well-known quote, often attributed to Henry Ford, that says, "Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success." These words speak directly to the spirit of this summit and the collective mission that brings us together.
Incoming First Ladies like Mrs. Greta Selemani Chapo from Mozambique also acknowledged being inspired by the sterling works being done by her counterparts through collaborations with the foundation. The MEC Foundation is dedicated to advancing health equity by supporting innovative programs and partnerships to improve the health and well-being of people. MEC Foundation has so far provided more than 2,000 scholarships to young doctors from 52 countries in critical and underserved specialties, including rheumatology, endocrinology, obesity and weight management, diabetes, oncology, infertility, dermatology, psychiatry, and embryology. Zimbabwe is one of the beneficiaries. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Dubai.
The International Monetary Fund has commended the setting up of the Mutapa Investment Fund, saying it is a positive development towards the growth of the country's economy.
The International Monetary Fund IMF mission to Zimbabwe held a meeting with the ZANU-PF Politburo members at the party's headquarters in Harare this Wednesday. The IMF team requested for the meeting to tap into the views of the ruling party as an important element in the economy. The mission noted tremendous progress registered on the monetary and fiscal fronts while commending the establishment of the Mutapa Investment Fund.
And given where you are at the current juncture in terms of substantial progress in terms of stabilization, the advice is really, or the program would be really about how to entrench this stability and make it sustainable. There has been tremendous progress.
ZANU-PF officials took turns to intervene and clarify a number of issues and stressed that illegal economic sanctions continue to slow the growth of the economy.
We also experienced challenges in the form of droughts, particularly the El Nino drought. However, Zimbabwe's economic outlook looks quite positive.
No one gave us any chance when we were imposed sanctions. We were almost thought that would fall within a very short time, but we've survived. And as you rightly pointed out, the economy is growing. It has unleashed potential among our own people.
Their presence here is a clear testament that our economy is taken off and that it is on a good trajectory, and it is a clear recognition that nothing succeeds like success. And the President's economic dream team of he himself at the apex, but with the Minister of Finance, Minister Mtuli, the Central Bank Governor, Governor Mshayawanu, they are doing a fantastic work to make sure that Zimbabwe's economy comes around and it begins to get the respect of financial institutions like the IMF.
IMF officials are in Zimbabwe to assess the implementation of the staff monitored program. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
Well, the government says it is working on the artificial intelligence strategy, which is set for unveiling in the next 2 months. The revelation having been made and presented during the launch of the United Nations Development Programme Human Development Report in Harare today.
We're going to be having a conference, our inaugural conference in Zimbabwe on AI. That is when we are going to be launching our artificial intelligence strategy as Zimbabwe.
An affirmation of commitment to harnessing the future of digital technology, the Minister of Information Communication Technology, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Tatenda Mavetera, noted government is harnessing the potential of artificial intelligence for socio-economic development. This was also the focus of the 2025 United Nations Development Programme, UNDP Human Development Report, launched in Harare this Wednesday. The report is a vital document highlighting opportunities for Zimbabwe to leverage development on digital technology, given the dynamism coming with the use of artificial intelligence, AI.
As we advance our national development strategies 1 and 2, building towards the inevitable success of Vision 2030, a future where Zimbabwe thrives as a prosperous, empowered, upper middle income society, we recognize that technology is not just a tool, but also a test for our values.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has also noted key areas in which AI can be utilized for development.
Zimbabwe can focus on empowering its citizens to make informed choices about AI's role in their lives, ensuring that technology serves their needs and aspirations. Zimbabwe can proactively address existing inequalities to ensure that AI benefits all segments of society.
The use of AI tools for human development is being amplified across the globe, bordered on the opportunities linked to technology as a catalyst for industrial growth. To strengthen its approach, government will be launching the Artificial Intelligence Strategy in August this year, a policy document that will provide compass to implement the concept across various sectors. Theophilus Chuma, SABC News, Harare.
For these and other stories raised on our bulletin, feel free to log on to our website www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Yep, and we're also available on social media. You can join us on Instagram, on Facebook, also X, formerly Twitter. You just take on ZBC News Online and you can get all the latest of what is taking place on this side. There are more stories to come on this bulletin, and this is what you can look forward to. Zimbabwe sets new tobacco production record, 299 million kilograms going under the hammer.
In business, gold coins gain nearly 100% in value since July 2022.
And later on, we'll have sport. Zimbabwe shooting to the top of the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League log. They beat Bikita Minerals by 1-0. We'll also give you results of other matches played. Be sure to join us for that and a whole lot more when we return. Welcome back. You are still watching the main news. Now, Zimbabwe set a new record in tobacco production, with deliveries during the current marketing season having surpassed the 2022 to 2023 season's record figure of 296 kilograms, going under the hammer.
Latest statistics by the Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board TIMB show that over 299 million kgs of the golden leaf have gone under the hammer, with farmers raking in over $1 billion United States dollars for the first time in history. Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Enchas Masuka described this new record as another milestone achievement by the Second Republic under stewardship of President Mnangagwa.
Yesterday, Zimbabwe achieved another milestone under the Second Republic, ably led by His Excellency President Mnangagwa. We reached 299.158 million kilograms of tobacco, which is a record for the country. The previous record was 296 million kilograms, achieved again under the Second Republic of 296 million. Farmers, as of yesterday, had received just over $1 billion. The 135,000 farmers that sell, so each farmer on average over $8,000. We now predict that will probably be somewhere in the region of 320 to 330 million kilograms of tobacco, making Zimbabwe the #1 producer in Africa and perhaps the third or fourth in the world. And our tobacco is desired in 60 destinations. So we must continue to produce flavor style of tobacco. And at this stage, I want to thank all the stakeholders in the tobacco value chain, principally the farmers, especially the smallholder farmers that make up 85% of the production. Over 60% of that production comes from beneficiaries of the land reform program. So again, it's demonstrative of the importance of the land reform program, not only as an empowerment tool, but as a tool for economic development for the attainment of Vision 2030.
Government is now projecting tobacco deliveries to go up to 330 million kgs, hence putting Zimbabwe on the world map as one of the biggest producers of the golden leaf. The new record dovetails with the tobacco value addition chain growth plan that calls for local funding of tobacco production and targets to make tobacco industry a $5 billion United States dollar sector by 2030. 10 Time Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
And now we cross over to our Montrose studios, where Sibukile Maposa is on standby with more news. Sibukile, good evening.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Good evening, Zimbabwe. We now carry on with the news from this end. Zimbabwe's sugar industry is poised for growth as new investors have joined the sector in a move that is meant to revitalize operations while ensuring the industry's long-term viability.
Vision Group, which includes investors from Zimbabwe and Pakistan, officially assumed its position as the new owners of Tonga Jewelers Zimbabwe after acquiring the agro-processing firm through a debt-to-asset swap transaction process. The development comes at a time the company was facing acute financial challenges which were threatening sugar processing. Speaking during a stakeholders engagement luncheon held at Hippo Valley Country Club this Tuesday, Vision Group Director Mr. Ruten Uromoyo said they are committed to turning around the sugar industry in Zimbabwe, which is one of the lifelines of the country's economy.
The first is to stabilize operations as they are now. They've been unstable for a while since it's been in business rescue, since September 2022. They haven't had any confirmed ownership, so that has delayed their capital programs, their replenishment programs. We believe that's the first order of business.
The coming on board of these investors is expected to drive strategic diversification while stabilizing the company's operations.
We have a plan to turn the business around. I think we're really about engaging openly and honestly, being very clear about what we're trying to do, and being very clear about generating good financial returns for investors, because I think that's where you get the longevity from.
What is key at the moment is to ensure that we move away from being under the BRPs. You're not so certain as to the future as you go along. The coming in of a new investor, it means clearly we are being liberated from being able to negotiate with banks for lines of credit. We can negotiate with suppliers for purchasing things. based on good terms.
Sugarcane outgrowers believe the sugar industry can return to profitability with proper management and transparency amongst key players in the sector.
If we work together in optimizing the whole value chain from the growing, the milling, the processing, refining, marketing, we can unlock value.
Tinogamuchira tosevenza nawo asi chavanofanira kuzozvatativaudza kuti tinoda transparency.
Tonga Hewlett operates Zimbabwe's 2 sugar mills in Triangle and in Hippo Valley with a combined capacity to process 3.5 million tons of sugarcane annually. Vision Group acquired Tonga's assets and operations in Zimbabwe as well as in South Africa and Mozambique. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Chirezi.
A disturbing trend is unfolding amid continuous reports of carjackings and incidents that are carrying out throughout the country by armed robbers.
A disturbing trend is unfolding amid continuous reports of carjacking incidents by armed criminals across the country. The disturbing carjacking cases come on the backdrop of a particularly active week for car theft syndicates across the country. On 12 June alone, 5 cases were reported stolen in separate incidents across Mashonaland and Harare provinces. Adding to the statistics, Walai experienced 2 robberies involving Toyota Fortuner vehicles in a span of just 5 days, with vehicle owners surrendering their cars at gunpoint. In a statement, Zimbabwe Republic Police spokesperson Commissioner Paul Nyati stressed the need for motorists to take personal responsibility of securing their vehicles and be vigilant when driving. According to the police, the latest robbery cases point towards the existence of sophisticated syndicates in various parts of the country. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The government says it has put in place a digital tracking system for the delivery of pharmaceuticals to hospitals in a way of ensuring medical supplies reach the intended destinations.
This Wednesday, members of the National Assembly quizzed the Ministry of Health and Childcare on the state of the health delivery system, with the Minister, Dr. Douglas Mambeshora, highlighting that government has put in place measures to ensure all hospitals across the country have adequate medical supplies.
Takaona kuti mwe mishonga yaibuda ichienda kwa isingafanira kunge ichienda, saka iye zvino tane urongwa hwekuti mishonga kubva kuNatfarm inofanira kufamba nemotikari dzehurumende dzakaiswa kuNatfarm kuti dzinosvika kubvira svika pakliniki nemishonga iyoyo. Taakushandisa zvakare yatinoti makombiyuta ekutresa kuti mishonga iyoyo yasvika ikoko.
Legislators were keen to understand government's position on the implementation of policies on gender mainstreaming.
By constitution, we have to make sure that we give equal opportunity to males and females. So the government is quite cognizant of that fact, and being constitutionally directed, we developed that policy and it was approved yesterday by Cabinet.
They also asked what is being done to empower women across Zimbabwe.
As a ministry, we support them through many financial support. We do have the Women Development Fund. It's a fund which comes through our ministry, and we have got officers. As I said, the ministry goes all the way down to the grassroots. We have officers at national level, we have officers at provincial level, we have officers at ward level. And we are very grateful that we have been given at least cars as tools of trade for our officers.
Questions about rural road rehabilitation were also raised.
Saka ndoyambira zvakare kune vanoda kushanda nebandiko reMinistry of Transport yasiya yekuti maiuya muchitora mari muchienda musina kuita basa nemazvo. Iko zvino unobhadharwa pabasa raonekwa nainjiniya wedu, resident engineer, osimbisa kuti basa raitwa, mari yozobhadharwa. Saka kune vanhu vakadaro, kana vari kuona Murambiwa ndingafare zvikuru tizive migwagwa yakadaro, kana muchidoma nemazita toona kuti chii chakaitika, kana tatodaro hunenge hwahuori nekuti hatibhadhare basa risina kunaka.
Issues around farm occupation, survival of cooperatives, as well as safety of women during elections were also discussed in this Wednesday's question and answer session. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Mount Hampton.
Well, that'll be all from the Manchester News Desk. I am Sibigele Maposa. The main news will now take a break. Returning with more news from our Pocket Soul studios from this end. Good evening, but stay with us.
Unearthing the hidden. In-depth analysis. 24 investigates, shines the light in the dark corners affecting our society. We go in-depth to tell the complete story. 24 investigates, dedicated to promoting accurate, factual and accountable news reportage. Nothing remains concealed forever.
From the midst of happenings, our teams commit themselves to bring you more than just the headlines. No holds barred national debate.
Welcome back. You're watching the main news. Thank you so much for staying with us. In business, investors who bought gold coins at their inception in July 2022 are smiling all the way to the bank as they have gained nearly 100% in value owing to the firming gold prices on the international market. We get more in our business report.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe launched the Mosi Owa Tunya gold coins in July 2022 as a store of value to tame rampant illegal foreign currency activities which stoked massive exchange rate depreciation. Quick-thinking investors who took positions then are now cashing in on by selling them to this Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. An investor who spoke to ZBC News off camera said he earned over 80% in profit when he sold these gold coins to the central bank. A look at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe website shows that the price of gold coins at just above $1,800 as of the 1st of August 2022, while the closing price as at the 17th of June 2025 stood at more than $3,500, translating into 93% profit. The firming gold prices on the global market as investors seek a safe haven in an unstable international trade arena and a growing geopolitical crisis vindicates the RBZ for introducing the investment at a time when there was huge skepticism regarding their tradability. Meanwhile, the RBZ this Tuesday announced that it is continuing to redeem gold coins and shall resume sales as soon as it accumulates substantial stocks. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And that report from Owen, our look at your business news. When we come back, we'll look at sport. Welcome back. Our look at sport now. Simba Bora claiming a top spot on the log standings, beating Bikita Minerals 1-0 in a Kasolaga Premier Soccer League match that was played at Wazanai Stadium this afternoon.
A 38th-minute strike by Ishmael Nyani is all that Simba Bora needed to secure maximum points against Bikita Minerals in Shamva this Wednesday. The defending champions have since shot to the top of the log with 32 points, a point above debutants Moors, who have a game in hand. This Wednesday's round of matches also saw Tel 1 striker Washington Navaya reaching double figures for the season when his late equalizer secured a point against ZPC Kariba. Moors Billy Veremu with 9 goals has a chance to also move into double figures should he find the back of the net when his side hosts Caps United at Ngoni Stadium this Thursday. Elsewhere, Chicken Inn finally broke the jinx after securing their first set of points at home this season thanks to a 1-0 victory over Ngezi Platinum Stars at Luveve. Highlanders also secured maximum points courtesy of a 1-0 victory over Manika Diamonds, while Herentals and FC Platinum drew 0-0 and Greenfuel and Scotland shared the spoils in a 4-goal thriller. Action continues this Thursday when Dynamos face Yada at Rufaro Stadium, Moors will welcome Caps United at Ngoni Stadium, and Kwekwe United will clash with Triangle United at Bata Stadium.
Zimbabwe national sevens side, the Cheetahs, have left the country for Mauritius, where they will take part in the 2025 Rugby Africa Sevens Cup, set to run from the 21st to the 22nd of this month in Port Louis.
For the first time in years, Zimbabwe are taking a strong squad to the tournament, which is headlined by Shaksa flanker Blythe Mawesere, who's coming off a very impressive season in South Africa and the United Rugby Championship. He'll be joined by fellow professionals in TIY back rowers Tapio Mafura and Brandon Mzekenyeze. The team believes that this time they stand a good chance to win the Africa Cup, which they last won in 2012.
We've had few, near misses, a try or, a game or there that we've missed, and I think it is a quality. So hopefully the quality that we've brought in here, guys that have played at the biggest stages, some are playing in the URC, hopefully they bring that composure, they bring that extra confidence to the other guys, our local guys as well, and that gets us over the line.
You play knowing that your bench is solid, so you give your best when you get in the park, trusting that when anyone who's going to come in is going to do the job. And with the team that has been assembled looking good and everyone is fit.
Apart from the professionals, Chita said coach Rugi Chirengende also kept faith in the core of the squad in returning Godfrey Magaramombe, Rain Musimi, Tapio Malenga and Carlos Matema, while also infusing youthful stars like Edward Sigauke and Munashe Dukuswa. Zimbabwe are in Pool C together with hosts Mauritius, Tunisia and unpredictable Madagascar. The winner of the competition will stand a good chance of qualifying for the 2026 World Challenger Series, which is a pathway to qualification for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Lawrence Truseda, ZBC News, Harare.
And that's a wrap of sport for tonight. Butler, I understand we have a match coming up.
Absolutely. Our coverage of the FIFA Club World Cup currently taking place. And coming up just shortly, it is a live action. Real Madrid playing Al Hilal in Group H. Remember, earlier on, Manchester City beat Wydad by 2-0. Let's now cross over to check the latest action, the Club World Cup.
And welcome.